Welcome to today's meditation on othering. To get started, let's get in a comfortable position with a straight back. If it helps, visualize that someone has a string attached to the top of your head and is pulling your head, neck, and spine up, almost like pulling a tea bag out of a steaming mug of water. If you're comfortable doing so, close your eyes. If not, just have a soft gaze on something in front of you. Take a moment to concentrate on your breath. One of the hardest parts of mindfulness is being here and present. Our minds want to wander with our to-do lists or regrets about the past, or even anticipation of the future. The best way we can bring ourselves back to the present is to anchor ourselves in our breath. So take a few minutes to breathe deeply with a goal of making your exhales longer than your inhales. This week in class, we'll be talking about cause and effect relationships regarding othering. Othering, according to Kendra Cherry, a psychosocial rehabilitation therapist, is an us versus them way of thinking about human connections and relationships. It's a way of negating others' humanity, and those that are othered are often seen as less worthy of dignity and respect. Signs of othering include attributing positive qualities to people who are like you and negative qualities to people who are different from you. Believing that people who are different from you or your social group pose a threat to you or your way of life. Feeling distrustful or upset with people of a social group even though you don't know anyone from that group. Refusing to interact with people because they're different from you and your social group. Thinking about people outside your social group as not intelligent, skilled, or as special as you or your group. Or thinking of people only in terms of their relationship with specific social groups without giving any thought to them as individuals. Othering can be a conscious or unconscious act and can happen based on a person's age, ability, ethnicity, race, gender identity, language, occupation, political affiliation, religion, sexual orientation, skin color, socioeconomic status, and more. It can even be a less overt thing. For instance, school rivalries can lead to othering. Think about the Ole Miss versus LSU rivalry involving carny folk rhetoric and corn dogs. So why do we do it? It's often done to feel a part of a certain group or to feel superior to others. Sometimes it's done to keep ourselves safe, especially if others are perceived as a threat in some way. Sometimes we don't even know why we do it. It could be ignorance on our part or cultural bias. It could be our own sense of entitlement or fears about our economic or social stability. It could be a result of ways others are represented, especially in our news or entertainment media. The impact, however, can be heavy. Othering can result in marginalizing groups of people, which results in disparities for them in our economy, housing industry, criminal justice system, educational opportunities, healthcare, and more. It can drive a wedge between people who are, in actuality, not that different. It also limits our social circles in ways that damage our full potential, as well as the potential of others. So how do we combat it? We need to get comfortable acknowledging our own implicit biases. We need to remember that diversity has benefits. We need to remember that identities are multidimensional and intersectional. There is more to us than one othered label. And we should broaden our social circles so that we can combat othering through our own friendships. Lastly, it helps to speak these things into existence. Acknowledge that othering does happen, that it does have an impact on those who are othered, and that it limits our life experiences to exclude those who are different than we are. Learning to recognize othering is the first step to turning the us versus them perspective into the we perspective. Take a moment now to think about ways in which you have othered, or ways in which you've been othered. Slowly come back to the room. If you need to wiggle your fingers and toes, or roll your neck, or do some soft stretching, then do it. And when you're ready, open your eyes.